Now, the House of Representatives on Thursday resolved to support the federal government with 648 million naira for 6 months by cutting down their salaries. They decided to cut down their salaries by 50% to support food sufficiency across the country and to address the high cost of food. This is also as the lawmakers begged Nigeria to exercise more patience with the president. That with this administration in addressing challenges and hardships faced by the citizens. The House further mandated its Committee on Appropriation, Humanitarian Affairs, Finance and Budgets to ensure compliance with this particular statement. The resolutions followed the adoption of a motion moved on the floor of the House titled An Appeal to the Proponents of Proposed Nationwide Protests to Maintain Peace, Eschew Violence and Open the Windows for Meaningful Engagement with the government at all levels in order to address their issue. Now we're looking at the case of the National Assembly now, the lawmakers. Nigerians always make reference to the lawmakers' salaries. Even though they sometimes make reference to the leaders' salaries, but they always point at the lawmakers. I don't know if you have noticed, but Nigerians always point at the lawmakers' salaries, especially at this time when we're having this issue of hardship after the removal of fuel subsidy. Nigerians are like, look at those guys, they're still earning so much. What is going on? And then when Labour Union came to talk about the minimum wage, you know, it was actually it was time. It was due, because according to the Constitution, after 5 years, it should be adjusted. So they were actually fighting for something that's already in the Constitution. But when, what I'm saying is, when Labour came out to talk about that, they were pointing at the lawmakers' salaries. Oh, you're paying us now 18,000 naira, which some people have not even started collecting. Is it 18 or 30,000 naira now, which some people have not even started. Some people are still collecting the 18,000 naira salary. And now the lawmakers can earn that much. So now the lawmakers have said, okay, fine, let's help, let's assist the government now. Let us slash our salaries for the next 6 months. We're going to earn only 50% of the 600 and something thousand naira we're supposed to earn. Is this a laudable move?
I would say I would say this is medicine after death. Whenever certain policies or decisions are made by governments, there are always advantages and disadvantages to it. In first world countries, when these decisions are made, there are steps that are put in place to cushion the effects of disadvantages. You get, if you're going to remove subsidy on so and so, you should know that this would happen and this would happen. So yes, it should have come a bit earlier, is what I would say. But yes, it's a good move. It's a good move. I would have even proposed that the 6 months would have been maybe a year. Yes, maybe because when humans start suffering, they tend to look at the next person. Oh, I'm suffering and this person is doing better than me, and then it breeds resentment. In our local parlance, when somebody has light and another person doesn't have, he will come out to look for this person has light. Or when you don't have light, and your neighbor has light. Your pain will not be that you don't have. Your pain will be that your neighbor has. If your neighbor doesn't have light, then all is good. If the neighbor has light and you have light, then all is also good. But I cannot be receiving 30,000 naira and you're receiving millions, and I'm okay with it, and you're not suffering, you're not feeling what I'm feeling. So yeah, I also think that some persons have been saying, oh, they should also cut down from their allowances and a lot of things. That's
why some Nigerians feel like it's not a big deal, because they feel like the allowances are still there. So.
Yes. So that is also something that should be looked into. It should have come earlier. It should be for a longer period of time, and the allowances should also be considered.
Wow. They are the ones that are actually, let's not forget that they are the ones who are recommending this. This is not like the government came and said, oh, we're going to cut down your salaries. They decided, okay, let us sacrifice 50% of our salaries for the next 6 months so that we can help or, assist the government with that amount to help cushion the effect. But talking about cushioning the effect of the hardship that's going on right now, what do you think about the food products that the government have been distributing, have been distributing around the country for the vulnerable?
It's a good action. It is. It's a good step, but it's not sustainable. would you share these different things every time that there's hardship? Would you keep sharing these different things? How many people do you want to give that bag of rice? How many persons? When you should instead be doing other things that could be reduce the hike of food prices so that persons that have little in their pockets could be able to afford it, instead of giving them, teach them how to fish and don't give them the fish. So I think,
you know, some people were talking about immediate measures because it seemed like the whole situation was getting really out of hand. And then we noticed that a lot of people could not even afford to eat once a day.
yes.
So people started crying out for emergency measures to be taking place or to be carried out. I remember having a guest who said someone once proposed that the government should share 1 million naira to...
I think that is even more actionable. That is even better.
More actionable.
Yes.
How
money in the pockets of...
share 1 million naira to, for instance, River State now? The government will share...
I know the population is much. The population is much,
residents.
yes. But it is possible. Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria is a very, very, very blessed country. And I think it is even possible for Nigeria to survive on its own if we wanted to, for a very long period of time, with the resources that we have.
So what is the problem?
The people in power, the people that have been put, even when they say, okay, they want to support the hardship in the country with so and so amounts from their salaries, how will it come down to the local man? When you give it to the government gives it to Mr. so and so, Mr. A gives it to Mr. B. How does it get to me? How does it get to somebody elsewhere? You get? So even if you have told us these plans, okay, will it get carried out? How will it get carried out?
Measures
so there are a lot of those measures.
Nigerians just trust their government. Even if the government comes to tell you, okay, this is how we want to go about it. The River State governor told us the other day how exactly the food that has been sent to River State will be shared. And he talks about the local council chairman who would get to them, and they will get to distribute. They should know the vulnerable people in the society and all of that. And people have suggested that traditional rulers should be included also, because they will also get to know the vulnerable people in the society. But the argument against this move that some Nigerians have had is that, like you have said, will it really get to the vulnerable? They feel like somehow corruption will just come into play in a way.
Yes.
And that's why they're saying this is actually sharing money is better. But let's look at sharing money. Will it really get to the people?
Yes, I think if the government really wanted to do it, and if it was arranged and planned properly, that it could really work. When you look at the way our banking system works, everybody has every single...
BVN.
Yes, we have our BVN that, okay, this one is for this person. One person does not have 2 BVNs.
And two people don't have 1 BVN.
Yes. So if you want to share that, although it's an exorbitant amount, and when you calculate the population that we have in Nigeria, I think it's going to cripple the economy when it happens.
Well, we have a lot of that amount, those kind of monies being siphoned, according to reports.
Yes, so true.
Imagine that those monies that are siphoned,
converted and sent to...
Let's go back and calculate all of them.
Yes.
So we don't have a headache, we will not do that.
Yes, so it's possible. Even if it's not done once, and then it doesn't bring too much money in the hands of citizens, it can be done slowly. When they say they want to give their salaries for a period of 6 months, they can share that amount of money for a period of a year. And every single time when an average Nigerian wakes up in his house, he gets an alert of 1 million naira, and oh, my own has gotten to me, and it's ticked off, oh, your BVN, you get. And yeah, it's possible if we're to look into that.
This measures that have been taken by this administration, I don't know if you heard about 50,000 naira that will be shared to different households in Nigeria.
Again, is it getting to the people?
We are waiting to find out. We're waiting to hear.
No, I don't think anybody so far has said, "Oh, I've received my own." Oh, I have not heard so far.
You know that if we have heard, if that has happened, definitely the news will be everywhere.
Yes, somebody would have come out online or anywhere to say, "Oh, I received a random 50,000 naira from."
But you know what? The part where the news is now is just at the part where the government announced it, right?
Yes.
So we're still waiting for the execution of that particular announcement. Yes, because Nigerians are more interested in the action. But then we have that. We also have grants and loans that have been given out to businesses, or we've been told will be given out to businesses. And then we've also heard these bags of rice and corn and all of these things that are being shared to different states currently. But it still looks like Nigerians are not, they don't still think that anything has been done.
These things...
So does it mean we should put aside emergency measures and just focus on primary? Yes, you were saying these things.
When we talk about these different emergency measures, Nigeria has been in this situation before. This has happened before. The sharing of so and so, the giving of, it has happened. And I don't know about you, I don't know about any other person, but never in my life have I seen a random Nigerian to say, oh, I received so and so amount of money randomly, and I want to thank the government for... It has always just been talk. That's why Nigerians do not really trust. I think loyalty breeds reinvestment. Nigerians do not really trust that when you say these things, you're all talk and no action. You might not do it. So I think that's why there's been there's no trust with the government anymore when they say they want to do these different things.
All right.